the heart. Now, let me explain what this is. You had the Gnostic texts that come out of ancient Kemet. The Romans got this stuff and turned it into a historical lies and made the debauchery of what you call Christianity. Meanwhile, the elite Romans, which is Catholicism and the Pope and them, took the teachings of that ancient text for themselves, the real one, and in some of their particular teachings that came out of those texts is a book called Theosophia. It'll give you stuff behind the Vatican on what they actually do. They don't think because they would give you the foolishness that they would be following the foolishness too. They carry on the traditions of the ancients. You see what I'm saying? You get this tape, the Illuminati say we make it clear. We don't follow nothing or some stuff that we created for the masses. They say we follow Osiris and Satan. But the Satan that they follow, Satan say, is called Shaytaan, which is a word for Shiva, which is Osiris. Shaytaan. Here's a book by Debut Patani, Shiva, an introduction. And they got about 108 names of Shiva, and one is called Shaytaan. It came out of Persia. And that's the one they follow. So they're following Shiva and Osiris, and we don't follow nothing that don't work. So the Illuminati is clear about that. The people, the global elite, they worship what we supposedly worship, which means they worship us. Get what I'm coming here? So let's get this straight. So don't think that the Pope and them are going to be worshiping some Mary Mother God and kissing something and kiss my ring and some Hail Marys and all that kind of stuff. The Pope and them worship Osiris. And they worship some Gnostic teachings. There's a book called Theosophia by Arthur Burst Lewis. Interesting book, very superior book. Theosophia by Arthur Burst Lewis. He wrote a book on Egypt. It's one of the baddest books put out. Wrote it in 1988. And they never published it beyond that. It's a book that's called Egyptian Mysteries by Arthur Burst Lewis. If you ever get your hands on it, it's a superior text. He wrote another book called Theosophia. Arthur Burst Lewis. And in there is the stuff behind the Vatican and what they deal with. And the stuff, you can just take this stuff and start reading it, and it's your mysteries. In that book, the Theosophia, they talk about in the last days, the apocalypse that you're talking about is not going to be a physical apocalypse. It's going to be an apocalypse of the heart. Which means people that you know, and especially the people that you know, especially you conscious people, your heart and your deeds and the way you treat other people on the frequency will be what you judge by. Now the judging is not talking about a person that's standing before you saying we're going to cast you down into hell and all that. It's talking about an immediate judgment. Whereas you say to yourself, I wonder why I'm catching so much hell. Well, the question you should ask after that is, I wonder what kind of asshole I was a couple of weeks ago to somebody. It's the cause and effect. It ain't the karma that they're talking about that's going to be your soul in the future. No, it's stuff that you do right now. When it comes to conscious people or whatever, there's an apocalypse going on in the heart. So whenever some things is going wrong, you need to say, wait a minute, hold on. Who did I fuck over today? Because something ain't going right here. My car done broke down. The bill collector called him. You see what I'm saying? Then you got to, because it's accelerating. So if there's some stuff that's going on, it's your thoughts. It's not even to the point where, as you know, you might have not done anything physical, but you got a certain thought process that's fucked up and it's spilling over into the physical realm. Right now. You see what I'm saying? See, the church was saying these things, but they muddle it and got you confused with all the Jesus stuff and all that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about things because, see, what's happening is this. Your spiritual energy is rising to a certain level. So when it rises, it gives you the ability to have more power. So you also have the power of thought. You can think things into existence. Remember I was telling you back about 2-3 years ago, I would tell a lie, and the next day the lie come true. And was scaring the shit out of me. Because I was producing that. Well, on the other hand, because you have the ability to produce things, you also have the ability, when you think negative, you also produce that also. So the apocalypse that they're talking about is an apocalypse of the heart. And in the book Theosophia, which is the text that the papacy used, that's the stuff they're talking about, and that's some stuff that came out of ancient Kemet. You get this thing here? So what's happening here, you're saying, man, my life is fucked up and I don't know what's going on. You have to, basically, you can't lie to yourself. Now this is interesting because I started lecturing in 1992. About a month after I started lecturing, we went to go see this white boy talk about Kemet of Egypt. He was only two black people in the room, me and another brother. And he kept looking at us the whole time. He was aware that we was there. But he kept saying one thing, and he kept saying this over and over to the white folks in the room and everybody in the room. He said, true knowledge will never open itself up with people with ulterior motives. In so many words, what this thing means here is if you got anything that's dealing with you, it is your own thoughts that's producing this thing right now. So one thing right now here is to even think magically. Once you believe that something is magic, then it starts happening. It's interesting because Earth, Wind & Fire got a new CD out. Anybody heard this thing? Off the Chain. Yeah. The second song, he's talking, he said there's a new light on the earth and y'all need to wake up to see the light. You see what I'm saying? So in so many words, they're saying if your back turned, you can't see it and you thinking your conditions are based on just a society, but it's a psychological thing that's going on right now. You can do the magic based on the change of mind, even down to your health. You see what I'm saying? Even down to your health. Now it's to the point where I used to go, damn, I need some echinacea, some gold seal, and I need all the kind of thing. And now I'll be like, oh, fuck it, I ain't gonna get sick. Don't get sick. Or I say, oh, I just drink this liquor right here. That's what I did last night. That's when I got off the plane, and they got that recycled air. No white folks are real sick. Be coughing and stuff. And for some reason, I don't care how sophisticated they get, they cannot get off the pork. They just be in the most $1 million outfit and still be eating the BLT. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that's about. Anyway, but then all the lives Muhammad in the theology of time said they made pork as medicine for them. That's right. Well, the first when I heard that, I thought that was ridiculous. But then again, then I started understanding something about how you have to condition your body to do certain things. So then I heard about how the Europeans, the peasants, in order to stay out in the squalor, they had to put mud and dirt on them, and their bodies became immune to that. So if you want to make your body immune to most of the disease, what's the best thing to eat?
The most disease thing.
Some pork. You get that up in the and all the shit is a cakewalk.
Right.
And it made sense. You know what I'm saying?
Like a vaccine.
You see, and who was the people that would get the consumption and all this old crazy shit? The aristocratic people who washed but were still staying on a filthy land. See what I'm saying? Now, I ain't telling you niggas you're supposed to go out here and don't wash your ass. I'm talking about the people that lived in a disease-ridden land and they had to condition themselves to stay in that land. You see what I'm saying? But my point is they had this recycled air on the plane and stuff. And I said, well, shoot, let me go off the plane. I said, man, I felt something right here pinching. I said, wait a minute, this is something pinching right now. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Let me go get some liquor right now. So this is the medicinals. You see what I'm saying? Now, to go into the thing, the spirit, let me tell you what happened. I did a lecture in Cleveland about a month ago. On the way to the airport, I realized that I had gone to the post office to pick up a package, and the woman didn't hand me back my ID. So I went home to try to get some more ID, try to find it, and that's when I realized she didn't hand it back. And we rushed back out to the airport. When I got there, the woman said, too late. Your bags didn't get on the plane. It's a 45-minute cutoff date. You're going to have to take the next flight out. But it's the last flight of the night. I said, oh shit, I know what's coming. There's going to be some money on this one. But before I went to the airport, I wanted to get my life straight. So when I came in there, I said, yo, I was on the train coming, and a guy was on the train coming, and a guy snatched my bag like this, another bag I had like this, and it had my license and my ID and all that in it. and ID all that in it. So she was typing all that in and stuff. She said, "Oh, the money's still coming up, but you got to get that money." And she typing and she typing. I said, "He was a dark-skinned black man." She typed that shit in and said, "We wave your feet." We wave your. I said, "Some say spiritual. You better tell that motherfucker he was dark-skinned." I said, "I got mugged. It was a dark-skinned black person." And the girl was typing that shit in, and she said, "They just wave your feet." Show you how the system is set up a certain way. She said, that just saved you $175. You see what I'm saying? Because it was the last flight out, so that means the next day you got to pay. See, if it was a couple of flights after that, they just put you on the next flight. But this was the last one. I said, some say you got to talk to the dark-skinned brother. I was lying, and it's because I said, you know, and she was like, "No, you still might have to pay. I know your stuff got, your stuff got stolen." And I said, "It was a dark-skinned black man." And she typed that shit in, and she said, "That just saved you $175. Ain't that some shit? I'm here to tell you. Let's move on. So now, there's like I said, now let me tell you another thing that's going on. To show you what's going down. My mate got a friend named Clyde in D.C. So Clyde got sick, went to the emergency room, knowing they wasn't going to keep him. He just faked the fall out on the damn ground. Just fell out in the emergency room. Faked the shit. They put him in the hospital room and all that kind of thing. They came back the next morning and told that motherfucker he HIV positive. Let me tell you how they do shit.
Right.
They were like, "Okay, you a smart ass nigga." They came back and said HIV positive. Then they said, "Hold on now." They say, "Man, you got it made. You can get any kind of benefit you want now. You just got to fill out a stack of papers." And the papers that they had him fill it out, it was like making him a new citizen. So just like you say, you got the Moors over here, you got this solving group over here, you got that solving group over here. The way this thing is breaking down in the country, they got a whole citizen for people who so-called HIV positive. You see what I'm saying? Then the next thing, they shipped him off the next day to some damn mental institution. He got to sign himself out and got the hell on. All for falling out in the damn hospital room. See, that's how this stuff is going on. Now, I say that to give you this particular information. Now, this is very key. Very key. When we first got down with this elixir and mixed this stuff up, we was drinking this stuff, drink it all night, and then the brother would get in the car and go and get in the car. And as soon as he cut the car on, he would become sober. Because it was a spirit. It's a spirit thing. He would become, because it was HP balanced. And he would become sober. We was drinking this stuff, we was healing. Told one sister, she said she had diabetes. It was some nurses was hanging out with. One nurse was drinking this stuff and getting healed. Other said, "You need to get on this thing here. And I got diabetes, I got high blood and everything." But I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You say you spiritual, but then again, you taking the diagnosis of what these white folks are saying. She never would get down with the healing. So about September, I'm at the post office and I see this girl come out and she all fucked up looking. I'm like, damn. What happened? I just got out of the hospital and all this kind of thing. I'm like, damn, you fucked up. Okay. 2 weeks ago, I'm at the post office and I see this woman walking with a damn cane and shit. She ain't but 50 years old now. She was in her 40s when we were saying this thing in the early 2000s, this 2002. So she's like late 40s, she's like 50, maybe 51, 52 or something. She walking like this and shit. I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't have a stroke. You didn't have a heart attack. They say that high blood pressure is a silent killer. You don't even know you got the damn thing. What the fuck you all fucked up like this? What the hell going on here? Okay. My mama took a turn for the worse. She going through dementia all this summer. Kind of crazy shit happening. They got her straight. They went back down there. She's 68. They go back. Next thing you know, she on a walker. And they got to feed her. My brother said, "Oh no, fuck that. You coming with me." Took her back to Atlanta. And in a week, cured her. She walking around just cool, la-da-da-da-da and stuff, you know. She walking around like ain't nothing happened. And I'm like, he said, man, I said, well, what happened? He said, well, all we did was we just stopped her medication. So they had on 5 different high blood pressure medicines. Now, let me go in and say, they had to feed her. Now, how many people on high blood pressure medicine? I know some black people up here on high blood pressure. I'm telling you something. Well, you motherfuckers won't say that.